All right, let's cook something, shall we? Okay. So, I put some of these 5 spice, I chopped them all up real fine and put them in here. I have some frozen broccoli, some frozen trio of peppers from Trader Joe's, and then I'm cutting up bok choy. Then I'm gonna also add green onion. We're gonna add quinoa. I'm also gonna try to propagate the bok choy because I love me bok choy. I'm also gonna use some of this onion because I wanna propagate this bad boy too. I'm not gonna use a lot because I don't know why I cut it on a different spot. Ah, what was I thinking? I just cut both sides and now it's gonna dry out faster because I wasn't using my brain. But I'm just gonna use a little bit. Okay, I chopped up that onion. I also added some fresh ginger, just like a little thumb of it. Chopped it up real fine. This is that frozen quinoa they have at Trader Joe's. Gonna add some garlic. So I ended up adding black salt, a little bit of turmeric root, the pepper, some vegan chickenless seasoning. This comes from Trader Joe's. Some kelp seasoning. This helps you get iron and some minerals, I believe. Just a good way to get like salt that isn't eating salt. Nutritional yeast. Okay, let's see. And then I'm gonna add water to this and cover, and yeah. Got a little bite of it, so. I did just taste it, and it's delicious. And I also think I'm gonna cut up some oranges and add those on top because it's got that like fennel, aniseed-y flavor, and I think some citrus will really like brighten that up even more. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll show you what that looks like. There you go. I'm gonna cook mine more than this because I added a little too much water. And that quinoa, I had to add extra water because it was all frozen, and so I'm gonna cook mine a little bit more. It's not gonna be as green, but this is pretty much the stop point. But I'll have to cook mine a little more. I just remembered I have some dried mushrooms that I dried before quarantine happened. And I didn't put too much seasoning or salt or anything because one, I used those nuggets which have a ton of salt, and as it cooks like this, it should spread the salt around. And then two, you're supposed to add salt at the very end. On Top Chef, they always said it. That's where I learned this from. It was on Top Chef. You're like, always at the end, you sprinkle that salt on top. That's why the salt guy got so famous. Like, it's a thing. You do it at the end so that way you taste the salt. Because if you just cook it in there, a lot of times you have to put so much salt before you taste salt. Alright, so that's what it looks like. There's still a whole bunch more over here. It'll definitely feed 2 people. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jera, I threw some sauerkraut on top too. Jera, I don't have all this stuff. Like, I can't make this. Okay. When you find any recipes of stuff that you like, especially a stir fry, all you do is substitute ingredients that you like or you have in the house. That's all making a meal is putting stuff that you really like together, trying different things, and you'll be surprised how much stuff goes together, especially on a vegan diet. Everything seems to go together. Like, I'm like, this before would have repulsed me, putting fruit on top of my stir fry like this, but I'm like, oh my god, my mouth is watering right now because I know all of this stuff is good for me. I like all of it. It all tastes incredible. All right, if you like this guy, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, put some comments in the comment section below. Like, did you try to make yourself a stir fry after watching this? I'd really love to know someone who did and what you threw into yours. And subscribe if you're new here, or, you know, maybe you were here before and you unsubscribe. Subscribe again, okay? All right? Thank you. People are always worried about, like, well, how much of that do I need to put in? Just use your judgment. You'll learn. You have to do it. You have to fuck up a lot of food before you're gonna make, like, really good foods. I have cooked, my mom taught me to cook when I was a kid, and I have made myself thousands of meals. And the ones where I take just a little bit extra time, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna treat myself good, this is treating myself good, and I put myself in that mentality, I end up creating food that is absolutely, utterly delicious and really good for me, helps everything function really nicely. So, yeah, best wishes.